Hello everyone, it's EzraTime again here, and welcome back to another movie review. And today, we are going to be reviewing a movie called Meg 2: The Trance. This is a sequel to the first movie, The Meg, and it stars Jason Statham as Jonas Taylor, and Woo Jing as well, which is a new cast member for this movie. And this one is directed by Ben Wheatley. The first one is directed by John Turtletop, I think. And yeah, I do think that when you first see this trailer, obviously for this movie, it was supposed to be a dumb fun movie. It's almost like they like obviously get logic out of the way and just have fun with the mech. Because I mean the first movie doesn't involve a lot of logic as well. And it was supposed to be a B monster movie, so it's supposed to be fun. And I do think that the first one is pretty fun. But for the second one, I have a mixed feeling about this movie. So let me get to that. So obviously the Mac 2, or like the story for Mac 2 is basically Jonas Taylor and this like new characters, new group of people, where they basically go to the Mariana Trench, to explore, the unexplored area, because this movie took some time, I think, like several years after the event of the first movie. I think it was 4 years in the event of the first movie, and then because of that, the world already know about, the megalodon, and like the trench, there's like so many other creature, that was undiscovered down there, so like their mission is to go to that undiscovered area and go even deeper than before. But there is also another plot point. It's not just that. There is another plot point which involve an illegal mining operation from the trench. Because there is this new group of guy, or I guess bad guy, that try to sabotage Jonas' mission. Like the team's mission. They go to the trench because apparently there is something in the trench they try to like cover. And that's why it's called the mining operation, and it was illegal. And to me it was like the that's like the worst part about that movie. But again, we're gonna get to that later. But first, I want to talk about the positive stuff about this movie first, before I get to the negative stuff, because trust me, oh boy, there is a ton that I that I want to say about that. But for the positive part, I do think the action is fun, because again, that's what you were expecting when you see Mac 2, especially from the trailer, and they do kinda delivers that in a way, on the third act, on the third act, it was super fun, that you basically see this footage on the first trailer that they released, like that's the scene from the final battle, basically, and it was like the most fun part about the movie. It's the best part about the movie, to be honest, and of course we got to see more creatures than the megalodon, because now we got three megalodon, but you also got this like giant octopus, which I'm gonna call them, kraken, and there is also like this lizard thing that you also see in the trailer, just a tiny bit in the beginning. I don't exactly know what the lizard is called, but like they're lizard that survive for millions of years in the trench, so it's like, yeah, I don't know what they're called, but obviously it's from the Cretaceous period, and I think they're cool looking, I think they really work well, especially from the third act. I was like, yeah, I mean, like this is like extra stuff than the first movie, because the first movie it only has the megalodon and only that, so like the action is only restricted in the water, and in this one you got the water scene, and then you got the an action sequences in the land involving the lizards. It's like, yeah, that's really cool. And I think Jason Statham does a good job. Like again, being Jason Statham. Like being a badass and stuff like that. And I do like the inclusion of Wu Jing. I think Wu Jing is such a good actor. Because he's also like a master martial artist as well. And I think you might know Wu Jing from the Donnie Yen movie SPL, where Donnie Yen and Wu Jing fight in that alleyway, which is like the famous fight scene in that movie. Like that's Wu Jing right there against Donnie Yen. So including him in this movie is fun. I think his character along with Jason Statham, they have like a good chemistry with one another, and they're fun. And yeah, it's great stuff. And also DJ, the returning character from the first movie. I think he is also really a fun character. Also, Cliff Curtis character, Mac, also returning. So I think they both have also have a good chemistry, and it's just fun, seeing this character talk to each other and like try to get out of the situation. It might get too much to some people, but I don't know. I like it. I think it's quite fun. So yeah, I guess the visual effects as well, I do think is good. It's not distracting, it's not bad. It's done the job. Like the first movie did, except this time as you have so many more creatures. So I think that's good. But there is a lot of negative stuff about this movie, and I'm gonna start now. The negative part about this movie is actually the mining operation plot, because I thought that the plot is gonna be there for like just a setup for them to like remove the thermal cloud, I think, right? That's what they call them, from the like covering the trench. So like there is, so like the kraken, the octopus, the lizard monster, they could like go out from the trench, and then like we got to see the scene there in the end. But it's just like, yeah, there was like such an elaborate effort to do that, which I was like, this could have been a lot more simple, because here's the thing. The mining plot, the bad guys plot, basically, I'm just gonna call that the bad guys plot, took a lot of the movie's screen time, to the point that I'm just even wondering that, am I even watching Mac 2 at this point? Because when the movie started, it kind of did like that, I mean, it started with like an action sequence with Jason Statham, which is fun, but I thought it's gonna be like just that and that's it, but no, like it pretty much carried throughout the whole movie, and I was like, what the hell, man? I thought that we were done with the bad guys thing, because I feel like they're only there to set up the plot, like the to remove the thermal cloud so the creatures can get out of the trench, and then like you got the problem like in the first movie. I thought that was their their decision, like their point to for being in this movie. But no, the bad guys plot pretty much took half of the movie. To the point I'm just like, okay, this is not even a Mac 2 movie. This is just like a Jason Statham action movie that you've seen before, like Transporter, or like Crying and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, like it's not even involving the creature, because the creature for half of this movie, when you are focusing on the bad guys plot, which is not that interesting, if I'm being honest, like they just there, and then they're not that interesting, and then the creature just took a back seat, to the point that you kind of like to be reminded you that, oh, you're watching a Mac 2 movie, like there's a megalodon, there's like a kraken, a giant octopus out there, like the movie kind of like reminding you of that. And because they focus so much on the human plot, to the point that you're probably gonna forget that you're watching a Mac 2, because I get that feeling, I feel like I'm just like watching an action movie featuring Jason Statham, and not like a creature action movie. Because sure, you could say that the movie is action, obviously, like the first one did. But I will say this about the first movie. I think the first movie does the plot a bit better, because the megalodon is like the main threat in the first movie. In the second movie, like the creatures, the megalodon and stuff like that, they're not even like the main threat for like half of the movie. Half of the movie is basically like involving this like human drama between the good guys and the bad guys, which is like they do this illegal mining operation in the trench, and it was like, what are we doing here? I was like, I thought that the bad guy's plot is just gonna be like, here's the bad guy, and then like that's it, they're just gone. But no, they continue until the very end. I was like, what the hell are we doing here? I thought I'm watching a Mac 2 movie. I'm expecting a megalodon to bite on people, destroying things, like a creature movie, and you kind of get that by the third act of this movie. That's why I said it's the best part about the movie, because that's what I wanted, that's what people wanted to see. But before that, my god, guys, there is a lot of human drama, and they're not that interesting. I was like, okay, man, this is kind of disappointing, because I really wanted this movie to be just a dumb fun movie. And there is a fun part when they reach the trench, they're dealing with the creatures, and then you see how creepy the area was. It was like, okay, that's fun. But after they reach like the station down there, it just becomes like a human drama plot, and I was like, are we seriously doing this? Like what, like why do you do that? It's just like, it's so dumb, like, and they carry that until the end of the movie. Like, dude, come on, And to the point when the megalodon appear again, I was like, oh yeah, I'm watching a mech movie. I'm watching a creature movie. I forgot about that. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of disappointing. I do think the first movie, again, the plot on the first movie is way more straightforward. It's way more simpler. The megalodon escape, and that becomes the main threat. That becomes the main goal for the character. And in this one, there is like multiple goal for the character, and the creatures become like the last goal for the character, because in this one they have to deal with the human bad guy first, because they are becoming an obstacle. And I was like, yeah, it's just like I don't really like it. I feel like they're going a bit too far about that. And I feel like there's like a much better story or script for this movie if they just like make the creature as the main bad guys, as the main threats, and only the threats in the movie. Just like the first one, the megalodon is the only antagonist in the movie. I guess you can count the like Ren Wilson's character, but at the same time, like he's not that bad either. There is some human moments in him. And in this one, like the characters, the bad guy, they're so comical. And they have a lot of screen time, man. They took a lot of screen time compared to the creatures that we wanted to see. So I was like, God damn it, man, really? Okay, well, uh, I guess by the end of the day, I do think this is still a fun movie when the creature is there, when you actually focus on the creatures and not the human. I mean, the human element has some fun moments because you get to see Jason Statham kicking ass again. I feel like that's the only reason why they get like a human bad guy here, so they can have Jason Statham kicking ass. I guess. But I feel like the opening of the movie is enough to make you feel like, yeah, this is Jason Statham. He can fight. We all know he can fight and he's good at it. But we're here to see a creature movie. We have to see Jason Statham like, I don't know, racing against a megalodon. Which you get that in the third act of the movie, but it's just like, yeah, the human plot is too much in this movie. It's really, really much. So I can see some people think that this movie is not that good, and people will be preferring the first movie over this one. Like the reason I mentioned before. So I guess that's what's gonna happen. I think some people are still going to enjoy the movie because it's still like a fun movie in a way, and I do think that I still like the movie. But I was expecting a bit more from the trailer because I was expecting the creature is gonna be like the main center of the antagonist, you could say that, and then we're gonna be focusing on them and them only, and then we're gonna get like to like a different location. And I was kind of disappointed by the end result, even though I think I have some fun time for the movie. I don't think this is a bad movie, but it came close. It came close to be like a super bad movie, or like maybe not super bad, but it's like a bad movie. Because again, like the pacing, the character, the plot is just, dude, it's too much, man. Come on, you could just make the story much more simpler, and then it will benefit from that. I'm just saying. So yeah, guys, I guess that's my review for Mac 2 The Trash. I do think this is still a fun movie. But again, I gotta remind you guys there is a lot of human plot elements, so don't expect this movie to be entirely from beginning to end to be just like megalodon, the octopus, the lizard creatures. Like, do not expect that. I went into this movie expecting that 100%, and I was disappointed, because like they barely even part of the plot until like the third act. So I was like, okay. I was like, I'm expecting more, man. Come on, this is supposed to be a fun movie, but okay, there is a fun part in there when the creature was on the screen and when the character is fighting the creature. That's fun. But the rest of them, eh, eh, okay. I mean, you know, either way, guys, that's my review. I guess let me know in the comment section below if you guys already watched Meg to the Trance. What do you guys think about the movie? Do you guys like it or do you guys hate it? Which one do you think is better, Meg 2 or Meg 1? I would love to hear your opinions about that. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this review, then leave a like, comment, subscribe, share the videos, usual stuff, guys. And again, stay tuned for more videos in the future. And I hope you guys enjoy this movie review. And I will see you guys in the next one then. Bye.